Alright guys, today is going to be my official settings, controller, headset settings, everything, the whole shebang, the whole 9 yards. Everything from controller settings to sound settings to headset settings, class setups, everything. We're going to create classes from start. You guys can save it, you guys can screenshot it, my settings, everything. If you guys could break 25,000 likes on this video right here, that'll be awesome. And also hit that subscribe button down below and comment down below. This is the most important thing I want you guys to do. I want you guys to comment down below your personal favorite class setup with all the attachments, only if you want to, or just comment some of your settings and your mindset when you play the game, just to help other people down in the comment section. This is the official K3 settings class setup video. All right, we'll do the Astro settings, the custom settings later on in the video, but let's go over the Warzone, everything in-game settings. Okay, a lot of people play controller on PC and that unlocks a lot of different settings like field of view and stuff, but I strictly play on console and I play stick and move flip. So you guys already know what this is. It pretty much changes your jump to R3. For those who don't have a Scuf controller, or me personally, I do have a Scuf controller. I just like jumping with R3. I don't use any of the pedals on the back. I only use a Scuf just for the feel of a Scuf controller, if that makes sense. So I use stick and move flipped. I've been using this since Infinite Warfare. It's had a lot of success for me for my gameplays. Everything's defaulted here. My dead zone is at a 0.07. Now, you guys already know what dead zone is. Let's just say you put your controller on the ground and it moves here and there. Your screen moves a little bit. You want to adjust this so that your screen does not move at all. But the higher you go, obviously, the more stickier it's going to get. So I found a good medium. It's defaulted at 0.05, but I put it at 0.07 just because it keeps me locked in on my targets a little bit easier and it keeps everything stable with my controller. Horizontal and vertical settings are both at an 8. I personally feel like the higher you go, the more cracks you can get, but I feel like for me personally, I like playing on a lower sensitivity. I personally would even go to a 7, but the lower you get, I feel like the more accurate you could become as a controller player. ADS sensitivity, I like to keep this below a 1. Most people you find play below a 1. You can even go down to like a 0.9, a 0.85. It really just depends. I personally feel like 0.96 is a good medium for me, but sometimes I like to go to 0.90 just if I really want to be very, very accurate. It just depends on my mood. This right here is for scope, so if you have a big scope or a sniper scope, this is what I keep it at. I don't really snipe too much, so I only focus on this right here. Most people are playing on a dynamic aim response curve type. I don't really know what this is. I just play on it just because a lot of other people play on it, and I'm gonna keep it on this. Controller vibration is obviously off. Aim assist is on standard, and here are the rest of the settings here. Contextual tap. If you do not play on contextual tap, you're playing Warzone totally wrong. That's all I'm gonna say. Contextual tap allows you to pick up items off the ground by just simply tapping square. You don't have to hold it, none of that. It might take a couple games to get used to, but you need to be playing on contextual tap. You 100% need to. You got the rest of the settings here. I believe I have parachute auto deploy is disabled. This is gonna allow you to get on the ground faster than everybody else. Pretty much when you're about to land, like literally about to land, you literally cut the chutes and you'll be able to land before everybody else and get guns and kill people off the ground right off the rip. Oh, and my slide behavior is on tap just because I like to slide a lot, and by putting it on hold, it's gonna allow you to, I don't know, it's just more clunky to me, so I put it on tap. General settings, I put my brightness on 64, film grain 0.05, all the settings are here. Obviously motion blur is disabled. You want to put the mini map on square because you get to see more of the map on the mini map. Obviously all the settings are here. And yeah, audio settings are here. This is not my headset settings because I'm going to show you guys my custom Astro settings later on in the video, but I play on boost high. Most people, like when I play with Dismo or when I play with anybody else, I'm like, did you hear that? They're like, no. So we're going to go on my custom Astro settings here in a bit. Actually, we'll do that right after this right here. So we got boost high, 93 master volume. It just really depends on your Astro settings, what you want to keep this defaulted at. Everything right here is pretty much standard. And yeah, so let's go in my Astro settings. I feel like that'll be very interesting to show you guys. We're actually gonna go to the Astro command center. I play with A40s here. Oh, okay, so I have to switch it to PC mode. 1 second. Oh, here is where all the magic happens, guys. There's a lot of different presets you can mess around with, but what I'm playing with right now is on this one right here. This right here is my custom settings. Okay, let me open this up. So if you guys have Astros, these are the settings you definitely want to play on. The reason why I say this is because every single time I play with anybody, and sometimes you guys can hear a little echo through in the video on my headset. Every single time I ask, yo, bro, did you hear that? Did you hear that box? There's a box to your right. You're like, what? There's a box to my right? Bro, you want to play on these settings right here. Some of you guys may have different settings than me, different presets, different variables, but this works for me. I copied this from somebody else on the internet, and this is cracked. So give this setup a try. I don't know if you guys play with Astros, but I recommend it. So those are my settings right here. What you do is you sync to the device, save it, put on the preset, then you go on your mix amp, and then you select that preset, and your footsteps are going to be cracked out of the world. So now we're going to create some class setups, my top 5 setups off the start. Now we have the Growl, M4, MP7 Bruin, and FAL. I feel like those are the top 5 weapons for me. Obviously, you got the MP5, but that's an overkill secondary weapon. But we'll go over the class setups and create some for you guys today. If you guys haven't already, be sure to hit that like button down below. It definitely helps out the video, and make sure you guys are subscribed because you just don't want to miss out on the video. So let's get into it. So the Growl, this is how I'm going to build a basic Growl from the scratch. Now, monolith suppressor, this is for solo players, and then we're going to adjust to trios, duos, quads, and it's very minimal changes. So the barrel you definitely want to use is the Tempest. For the rear grip, I would put on the Sniper Elite. You could put on the Rubberized. You could put on the Void for a faster ADS, but in the recent nerf, they messed around with the recoil stability, so pick either of these. I feel like I have more success with the Sniper Elite, so I'm going to put that on. Then 50 or 60 rounds. If you play solos, put 50 rounds, so this is for a solo setup. And then for an underbarrel, you definitely want to put on Commando foregrip. This is how you want to rock it. Now, if you play duos or quads, put this on, but it really just depends. So this is what I rock, or you could take this off, put on that, and it really just depends. So that's how I would rock it. Save that class setup. For your secondary, you want to definitely have an MP5 from the start. You wouldn't want to put this on. Some people like to have monolith suppressor. Me personally, I feel like I have more success with this collapsible 45 rounds Merc foregrip, and then the stipple grip tape. Some people actually take off the stipple grip tape. They put on this laser right here, or they put on sleight of hand. It really just depends, but for me, I put on stipple grip tape just for my secondary. I don't really need sleight of hand, so this is my class setup for the Growl. Everything's right here. Now we switch to the M4A1, which is another very versatile weapon. It's an all-around weapon for me. So M4A1, the variants do matter because it changes the iron sight. This one's the best for me because it has like a clean silver iron sight, and it's a circular one. So for me, I'm gonna do monolith suppressor. Some people will say the Corvus or the stock. Me personally, I'm gonna go with the M16 Grenader stock. The reason why people choose the Corvus over the M16 is because you get more stability in the recoil, but I'm choosing range over everything, so I'm choosing the M16 right there. I'm gonna put on 50 rounds for solo. You're gonna put on 60s for trios and quads, but for solos, 50 rounds. You're gonna put on no stock. This is personal, but for me, no stock works for me here. Now, if you're doing no stock, you're gonna have to put on Commando foregrip, but there's different ways to create this setup. So for this setup right here, it's all about mobility and speed, okay? But you could take off the no stock and you could put on stipple grip tape maybe. Only difference when you put on stipple grip tape right here is that your mobility is kind of hindered, but you know, there's different ways to create this setup. Obviously, you could take off stipple, you could just put on the laser. You can even put on the tack laser. It really just depends. So there's different ways to create this setup, but for me, if I'm going to be playing some solos, I'm going to put on no stock. I'm going to do this class setup right here. This definitely works out for me. And then I feel like if you're using the M4 here for solos, you don't need to overkill. You can put on Ghost and then maybe have a little secondary sniper action. So here's my sniper build for a secondary option. And when I mean secondary option, I mean this is your second loadout. So you get your first loadout with your M4, and then you pick up your second one off the ground, or you could just buy it. This is how I'm going to build out my personal sniper class setup. So you have that. You have sleight of hand, and that's a good setup right here. Or you could take off sleight of hand and put on the variable zoom, which is another good class setup. Oh, and this is definitely not how you want to rock the perks, but you have Ghost, Amped, EOD, C4, Heartbeat, and it doesn't really matter what this is because you're going to pick up your M4 for your secondary. MP7 is another crazy setup. This is good for short range, medium, long range. It don't matter. No stock. You're going to put on monolithic suppressor. You're going to put on the longest barrel, which I believe is this one right here. Definitely going to put on 60 rounds. It doesn't even matter, 50 to 60. 60 rounds for your MP7 right here. And then you're going to put on stipple grip tape. I just find this is the best setup. You can take off no stock, honestly. Me personally, I'm a very fast player. You guys can see the mobility bonus you get on the bottom. It's a big bonus, but if you don't want that, you can put on a Merc foregrip, or you can take that off, or you can put on a tack laser. It really just depends. This is how I would rock it right here. Perfect setup for a long, medium, short distance class setup for the MP7. Then I would obviously have overkill with a sniper class setup, which is my HDR. Put that on, HDR Pro, boom, tac laser, this, and sleight of hand, boom. That's my setup right there. Bruin! Man, this is a hidden class setup that most people don't know about. Actually, a lot of people know about it, but here is how we're gonna create this class setup, okay? We got the monolith suppressor. Definitely want to have the VLK sight on this, where if I can find it, definitely want to put that on it. Definitely want to have the 60 round magazines, stippled grip tape, and for the barrel stick, you want to have the Summit 26.8. Perfect class setup, really good class setup, and I think you guys are definitely going to enjoy that. Now for this, you definitely want to have a secondary MP5 just because of the mobility issues that you have with the Bruin. So you guys know how we create the MP5 here. We got the integral suppressor, we got the Merc foregrip, 45 round magazines, you got the collapsible, and you got the stipple grip tape, and that is your perfect class setup for a Bruin. And the FAL, oh my god, there's so many ways. You could create an SMG version of this, or you can create an actual AR 2-shot version of this. I think it's a 2 to 3 shot. But mono, marksman. I personally don't need a 24 round magazine just because of how quick the time to kill is for this. But stippled grip tape, maybe. I would definitely rock some type of sight. Honestly, you don't really need a sight, but you could definitely put on a sight just to have a clear view of what's really going on. And then I'll probably do a no stock. It really just depends. So I think this is a good class. You could take the no stock off and maybe put on a laser just for more mobility, or you could put on maybe like a commando foregrip. It just depends, but I think this is how I'm gonna rock it for a solo game. I think I'm gonna put on an SMG here. So overkill, and then you got the MP5, and then you have the MP5 build that I like using, which is this. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, that's how I would rock it. Good class setup for the FAL. So here are my class setups. Hopefully guys did enjoy today's video. I think it was a very informative video. It showed you all of my setups, my class setups, my settings, my Astro settings. And if you guys have any more questions, I'm actually going to go in the comment section and reply to some of the comments here. So hopefully guys did enjoy today's video. Make sure you guys do drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next gameplay.